All right, guys. I figured this is a good video to watch here because it's about fast food. And if anybody knows fast food, it's me. The only problem I have with the fast food is that it's not that, they should call it slow food because it makes you fat. Fast food sickening scandals by Fox Akimbo.
When I was a baby, I ate my first ever Burger King and got horrendous
You don't know that. You can't possibly verify that information by yourself. You have to have somebody tell you that, and they could be lying, so I don't believe you.
food poisoning so bad that I threw up
kidding.
all over the house. At least more than a baby usually would. And it wasn't
That's
until I was
horrible.
18 that I had my next one. I've since buried the hatchet with Burger King, but my family found my food poisoning to be an absolute scandal. In my family's eyes, killing a baby with rancid meat was a bit scandalous. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about fast food's biggest scandals ever.
All right.
Everyone knows food chains. They are universal. And since their popularization in the 50s and 60s, this popularity has led them to be rife in infamous scandals. So in this video, we're talking about the most frightening fast food scandals there are to offer. So with all that said, let's tuck in. So getting into the meat of this video, let's talk about a scandal that up until recently was very much misunderstood by the general public. Because in 2015, it was discovered that there was a meat smuggling ring set up in China comprised of 21 different gangs who were making some serious money off selling frozen meat to local fast food chains.
What? Interesting.
And let me tell you right
now,
the
get onto that
quality
meat
of this
smuggling
meat
business?
was horrendously off. Some of the pieces were thought to be 40 years old.
Well, how is it healthy? The only meat smuggling business I like is gay porn.
Christ. When this was discovered, the police did well to, at the very least, try and severely crack down on it, seizing more than 100,000 tons of frozen meats, which, for context, would equate to roughly...
Wait, how were people buying it? Was like fast food restaurants buying? That's crazy. But like, isn't there a thing where like there was a store, not Bloomingdale's, there's some stupid woman's store, like that women like a lot, where people were stealing from them and like selling it back to them or something. I forget what it's called. You'll tell me in the chat.
What butchers would have if they slaughtered more than 500,000 cattle. Obviously, this meat smuggling ring is huge, but it only added further concern about the quality of meat being served in China. This wasn't the first time something like this had happened. There were previous concerns prior to this. And this has been going on for years since, with insider reporting on it back in 2021.
Wow.
So for years now, smugglers have been moving meats. But it's not just meant for the fast food chains. There's also a lot of the meats that are meant to be used in medicine being smuggled, surprisingly, including tiger penises.
Medicine? That's a big word. Guys, this is how COVID started. Let's just be real, okay?
These are being used for medicine within China. Whether it actually works, whether tiger penises actually have any healing properties, I don't know. I've never chowed down on one, but they are being poached for their knobs, which are being sent and smuggled into China.
Are they just taking their wieners? Because that's just kill me at that point, frankly. I mean, if you're going to take my pickle, just take the whole shebang at that point. You know, I don't want to be alive for that. That's horrible. Okay. Unless maybe if I was trans, I would like it, but I
never thought I would ever find that out, but here we are. Back on topic, few articles I found on the meat smuggling ring actually declared which chains use these tainted meats, and I have a bit of beef with that, to be honest. But compared to many of these stories, which could have been knowingly prevented by the chains, it's possible that these chains didn't know that their food was being frozen and potentially upwards of 40 years old.
Damn.
But alas, as I said, I don't really know which chain sold this meat because the articles that I read didn't really specify. Although I'm sure that we can all imagine in our minds which ones might have. I'm sure you might have come up with a few ideas already.
No, not really.
We might know the usual suspects, that's for sure. I'm not saying who I think it is, but I'm sure you have at least a couple companies in your mind.
No, I don't know.
You know, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's rancid, decrepit, 40-year-old meat that's being smuggled into the country.
Exactly.
I much prefer locally sourced food picked out by local farmers at its peak of ripeness and delivered to your plate within a week of it coming out of the ground.
Ad.
And that's where HelloFresh come in, because I'm very proud to say they are the sponsor of this video. Here's the deal, guys. There is something at HelloFresh for absolutely everyone. In terms of food, it has plenty of meat, but also vegetarian and pescatarian options galore. If you care about the environment...
What the fuck is pescatarian? Is that when you just eat insects? What the fuck? What is pescatarian? Doesn't eat red meat or poultry, but does eat fish. Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. That basically, because fish and seafood, that's just... It's water insects, right? Good ad, though. Good ad pivot. I liked it. Let's continue. McDonald's slime scandal. Woo!
You see, this pink slime.
I remember this one. There was a time where a McDonald's employee, he took me behind the McDonald's and showed me some slime, and it was kind of gross. It tasted a little bitter. It smelled like bleach. That was the scandal I think that they're referring to. It's about time somebody spoke up for me.
At the heart of many a conspiracy theory. But since this image was released to the public years and years ago, it's definitely been a scandal on the hands of McDonald's higher-ups, even if it's not exactly a fair one. You see, I think I'm going to go a bit rogue here and actually defend McDonald's.
Oh, shit.
The idea is that this pink slime is made up of blended and beaten pieces of meat scraps that would otherwise be thrown in the bin. Instead, they're broken apart, and there's a chemical called ammonia hydroxide, which is applied to kill all the bacteria on it. It's then processed, and this is what you're left with. This is apparently what they use to create McNuggets. This image was uploaded.
Is that what McNuggets used to be? Oh, they changed that real quick. That's crazy. So they're using, that's basically bologna then. Wait, they're right? Because like bologna is the garbage parts of all the animals, right? So they basically made bologna chicken nuggets. I mean, I like bologna a lot. Because that, like, think about it, like bologna's pink. So they do that and they make it pink. Okay. I'm fine with that.
Did to the internet ages ago, and it's been a rumor that has persisted for years upon years now. But according to McDonald's at the very least, that's not how they make their McNuggets. In response to this, McDonald's has actually revealed how their product goes from chicken carcass to nugget. Okay. And while it definitely does look like a beige kind of slimy thing, it's not that pink slime. Neither do McDonald's currently use ammonia, but we'll get to that claim in just a minute. We're not done here. Call me a brain-dead numbskull if you want, but I'm actually inclined to believe McDonald's here, for one reason, and one big reason only, and that's because if McDonald's used this pink slime, why are there not more pictures of it on the internet? Look up McDonald's pink slime online right now. I dare you. And you will only see one picture of this supposed slime. McDonald's is global. McNuggets are absolutely everywhere. If they do this all around the world, or hell, even just in North America, do you not think it's strange that there's only ever been a single photograph taken of the pink slime?
That's fair.
Do you not think a disgruntled employee would act as a whistleblower? We're going to see a couple whistleblowers later on in the video. I'll tell you right now, there are a lot of them. That claim is, in my opinion, kind of stupid. But one claim that does have some backing...
But they did make their McNuggets out of some weird-ass shit, so that's why they changed it. I think it was just like dark meat. Now, apparently, they're healthier, but frankly, I don't feel it. I feel it in my feet in a bad way.
Is the fact that McDonald's, at one point, did use ammonia in their burgers. But a few years ago, they got called out by Jamie Oliver for it, who gets way more hate than he deserves, by the way. I know I'm spouting out all the really unpopular opinions these days, but his cooking aside, his activism gets a tremendous amount of hate for what it is. He wants people to know what they're eating and eat healthy food. That's really it. And he gets all this hate and backlash for it. I don't get it. I don't understand why. But little rant aside, if you're worried that you've ever eaten food from McDonald's that contains ammonia, you shouldn't. Unless you're an American over the age of 11, in which case you should definitely worry. Because McDonald's meat in the UK and Ireland has always been given by local farmers, and ammonia has never been used over here. In the US,
bro, that's a problem with like the FDA. Well, it's a problem with McDonald's too. They shouldn't be like wanting to put like terrible things in our food, but like the food, our FDA doesn't care. Like my understanding is that like every other country with a McDonald's, they have like a decent McDonald's. Like it's not that bad. But like in America, like we just don't, our FDA just does not care. And then there's a bunch of crazy shit in there that's somehow worse. I'm not saying McDonald's in other countries is like great or amazing, but it's crazy how like little our country cares about the health of its like citizens. Honestly, it's fucking it's bonkers. It's just fucking nuts.
So yeah, you guys kind of got screwed over there. Sorry. On to the next story then.
True.
Because while I don't subscribe to the theory that pink slime photographed in that picture was actually ever used in chicken McNuggets, I do believe that foot lettuce photographed in this picture was actually used at Burger King. Because the last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus.
Who says that?
But as it turns out, that might be what you get.
Ooh. Burger King foot lettuce. Sorry, that was cringe. I'm never going to do that again.
Okay, I've covered Burger King foot lettuce at least once, maybe even twice before on the channel. Which videos? I don't know, but I definitely remember telling the story on here before, and while memed on the internet, at the heart of the story is a horrible tale of a disgruntled employee taking their anger out on unsuspecting members of the public. The photograph of tremendous fame dates back to the 16th of July 2012, when an anonymous 4chan user identifying himself as a Burger King employee posted this picture.
Well, his shoes are on, so you're not going to get foot fungus. You're just going to get all the disgusting stuff on the floor. And is that so bad, guys? Is that so bad?
Standing on a box of lettuce in the kitchen, along with the caption, "This is the lettuce you eat at Burger King." Obviously, this image was a bitter pill to swallow by many, but you would expect the food you consume in a restaurant to be of the highest quality and for its integrity to have not been soiled by a rogue employee. Well, at least I hope he was rogue. Which, by the way, what does that mean? What does that mean when Chill said, I hope he was rogue? He was obviously rogue. Like, how could he not be rogue if he's standing in a pit of lettuce? Chills, in the very small chance you're watching this, please tell me in the comments, why did you hope he was rogue?
I think that he was just trying to sensationalize the story by being, maybe he's real. Maybe Burger King's like, guys, this is the #1 part of our product is feet. Well, I mean, if they were gamer girl feet, I think that maybe then I would be like totally on board with it. So maybe that might be what they're referring to. I don't really know.
Understood that. Nonetheless, 4chan did a deep dive into the photograph and solved the mystery, as has been so eloquently described on Chill's Top 15 Mysteries Solved by 4chan video, which if you haven't seen that one before, it might reassure you to know that after just 20 minutes, the Burger King in question was discovered, and the next day, the branch manager claimed to know who the rogue employee was, stating that they were...
That's just damage control. He had no fucking idea. It's probably the manager himself. I don't know. But they have to. They're going to always say, like, oh, we figured out who it was. We took care of it. We killed the guy. And they're like, okay, good. Whew, he's dead. We made it into the Burger King. It's like, thank God. You know, that's how it all breaks down.
Getting fired. So, as Chills famously said, that's another mystery solved by 4chan.
Ooh, a beast.
I want to do a little speed round for you guys. Because I have 4 stories here.
4chan creates a story and then solves it themselves. It's fucking incredible. Sounds like my wife. She'll be like, she'll do shit like that all the time. Like, she'll do things like, I can't open this container or this jar. Not because it's hard to open, but because she's just, like, incapable. And then, like, I'll get up to go help her. Oh, I got it. I don't know how many times I could hear that. Like, oh, I got it. Figured it out. Like, like 5 seconds. Baby, I need you. Okay, I get up to go help. 5 seconds. Not even 5 seconds later. Oh, I got it. It's like, okay, incredible.
Which are really, really interesting, definitely enough to be put in this video, but they're not exactly long or anything, so it's going to take just a moment to breeze by all of them. The first of which is the Hardee's Buns advertisement.
I got a Hardy bun for you.
I have never heard of the fast food joint Hardee's. It's not a British thing at all. I've never been there. I've never tried their food. I've never even heard of them. But I have seen their advertisement for their buns, which caused a bit of outrage a few years ago, because it's slightly sexually suggestive. I don't think I need to be the one to explain it, but obviously buns has a dual meaning. It can refer to burger buns as well as buttocks buns. Apparently Hardee's is quite popular within Pakistan, and many of these ads actually ran there instead of the US. As I said, some people weren't exactly happy that this was the advertisement campaign they went for, but hey ho, sex sells. At least they tried something.
That's silly. Who cares?
If you're looking for something to be easily offended by, look no further than Burger King's International Women's Day advertising campaign.
Let's see what it is.
I don't know if this one spread outside the UK because it was shared within the UK on Burger King's Twitter, but back last year in August 2021, a shocking fact was found out, which was that only 20% of cooks in the UK were women. 80%.
Damn, you'd think that it would be like 100% because women are always cooking. You know, women do be cooking. Women do be cooking. Okay.
Of them were men.
Men are just
Burger King
better
found this to be a bit of a problem. They wanted to empower young women to think to join the culinary field where they're great.
Well, okay, let's be fucking real here, okay? Women might cook more than men, but is Burger King cooking? It's grilling. Men grill usually, and women don't usually grill. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, usually that's how the division of labor is that men will do the grilling and women will do the chilling. I know, but they'll do like the food prep and stuff. Like they'll do food and like men will do like that's so it's not even like who cares. Plus, it's a fucking burger. Like what is it? Like a kid in high school? Like how much do these grill people get even paid? They don't, right? It's just a random worker. I'm just saying.
Represented a good, honest cause, but as you can probably predict, the way they went about it is the reason they're in this video. Women belong in the kitchen. They're not my words, they're Burger King's. Don't leave a dislike, don't leave a hate comment. Women belong in the kitchen is the advertising slogan used by Burger King on International Women's Day. Hilarious. Obviously referring to a long-held stereotype that women just need to stay at home, cook and clean, and, you know, live in the kitchen. I don't know if they meant it that way. I suspect they did.
Yeah, they're trying to play on that as like a little joke. It's actually very funny because what's very funny is that like that's a good campaign for I cannot believe I just died there. That's a good campaign for like little annoying incel boys that like would take the narrative of like, oh, we need to get more women representation in the kitchen. It wouldn't make them upset because they'd be like, that's so funny anyways. It just seems that the joke was lost on them.
Actually, no, they definitely did. Was it in poor taste? Be your own judge. But were the intentions there, though? Yeah, they were. Most people I've seen think the tweet should have been more informed, have the 20% thing underneath, but alas, it was just a blanket statement. Women belong in the kitchen. Honestly, people were definitely not happy, so the post was evidently deleted, and Burger King had to make an apology.
My Burger Queen!
Think, was making a bit of fun, was poking a reference at this age-old stereotype that women belong in the kitchen. Was that okay?
I mean, I think it's okay. It's funny. It's just like you're obviously not helping yourself.
Do the ends justify the means? Obviously, the intentions were there, but they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
I think it's fucking based.
For this next story, we need to join the club. The Krispy Kreme club, that is.
Ooh, that sounds easy to
when
me.
You put two and two together, when a guy of my complexion starts talking about the Krispy Kreme club, it's a recipe for disaster.
KKK. Sorry.
If you still haven't put things together, because of the way that Krispy Kreme spells its name, when you do a promotion and you add another word onto the end, beginning with K, it's an acronym for KKK, which people for some weird reason didn't like. The story here was that a UK branch of Krispy Kreme in Hull wanted to do a promotion called Krispy Kreme Club Wednesdays during the school holidays. The donut shop would have a bunch of activities for local children to go and participate in. This would never happen though, because KKK Wednesdays is never going to sell. Obviously the clan is American-based, but they're well known over here too. It's not like nobody knows about them. Was this just one huge oversight, or was it intentional? I couldn't really say. It's not really known to the public, but the idea of KKK Wednesdays was scrapped, and Krispy Kreme, well, I mean, it goes without saying that they had to apologize for their actions.
That's fucked up.
A bit grim for our fourth and final entry of this speed round, Jared from Subway.
Oh, man. Jared, what did he do? He was a great guy. Kind of silent there.
He is a nonce. Confirmed nonce. What more do I have to say? I mean, the guy lost 245 pounds in a year using Subway sandwiches as a main part of his dieting strategy. He then became a spokesperson for the company, and then he wanted to touch kids and got put in prison for 50 years. The end. I mean, that's it in a nutshell, isn't it? We're moving on. Let's talk about McDonald's ice cream mold.
That was it? I guess that was all you could really do. Ice cream
in July
mold?
2017, there was an...
Is that why their ice cream machines never fucking work? Because they're always moldy? Oh, man, I wouldn't doubt it. You guys better get your shit together. I mean, I don't get ice cream from McDonald's anymore anyway. Not exactly known for their ice cream. They're known for not having their ice cream, if anything. Or the McFlurry. That shit's crazy.
18-year-old worker at a McDonald's location in Louisiana who was tasked by his manager to clean out the ice cream machine. Upon being given this task, he took the bottom off of the ice cream machine and captured this picture of a horribly moldy tray, tweeting out the image and
forbidden ice cream.
This came out of the McDonald's ice cream machine, in case y'all were wondering. Over the next few days, he would post other images of the sorry state of the McDonald's he worked in that was really grotty and grim. He was fired for being a whistleblower, which he said on Twitter was all part of his master plan because he had another job lined up. There's two things here though, right? First of all, while very disturbing, to me, this doesn't actually say a lot about McDonald's as a company, it just says a lot about the branch that he works at. McDonald's is global. It has tens of thousands of locations all around the world.
Well, yeah, and a lot of them are franchised out. Of course, like the entire corporation McDonald's, you know, you can't necessarily blame them, but you can still criticize them because it's it's still part of their brand and it's inappropriate. But I think like 90% of them or even higher are not even like owned by McDonald's. They're franchised out.
Of course, there are going to be a few of them that are just horribly unkempt and dirty and grotty and grim and disgusting. The guy that posted this image just so happens to work at one of those locations. When you have over 38,000 locations worldwide, of course there's going to be a few that don't comply to basic health and safety standards. McDonald's does have a reputation for questionable food, but at least compared to its competitors, it doesn't have so much of a reputation about dirty restaurants. This kind of thing isn't seen that often, despite how many McDonald's locations there are worldwide, so credit where credit is due. Secondly though, and perhaps more interesting, I'm going to put a little wager that a lot of people that are watching this video have worked in the fast food industry, whether it be right now or whether it be in the past. And I'm interested to hear, I was a barista for a few years, so I never really had this too much. What are some trade secrets of big fast food chains that not many people know about? Please let me know in the comments. I'd be really, really interested to read them. What are some things that nobody knows that you, having insider knowledge, would actually know? Let everyone be a little whistleblower in the...
If you come into a White Castle drunk and you demand a water cup, they'll give it to you. And then even if you put soda in it, they'll just complain. You get whatever you want. The managers don't want to deal with you. They'll just give you whatever you want. So be an asshole, guys. Treat your employees like shit, or treat the staff like shit. They'll give you whatever they want, whatever you want. Don't even worry about it. Okay, it's not too bad. It's true. You can do whatever.
The comments. I would really love to read what you guys have to say. Let's talk about a frightening financial scandal next. And to do that, we need to go back to the year 2017, because it was then that it was found that a Pizza Hut in Australia was grossly underpaying its employees.
Oh, shit. It's an epic capitalism moment, am I right, guys?
This story takes place in Newcastle, located just north of Sydney, and occurred after 6 employees at the Pizza Hut in question complained to a Fair Work ombudsman, claiming that they had been underpaid, if paid at all, for much of the work that they did. After an investigation on behalf of these employees, the ombudsman found that 24 workers of that particular restaurant were being underpaid by just under a staggering $20,000 altogether, with most of these workers being aged between 16 and 20. 4 of them were underpaid over $3,000, and including in this figure was the person that was underpaid the most. They were owed almost $5,000. This wasn't the first time that Pizza Huts in Australia had been under fire for the way they treated their employees, with a spokesperson from the Fair Work Ombudsman stating, "Based on its response so far, I am not confident that Pizza Hut head office is taking our concerns about non-compliance within its network seriously." At the end of the day, if Pizza Hut franchises can't afford to pay its employees, then they shouldn't be in business.
Well, I mean, like, there's probably minimum wage standards and stuff. Like, for sure, I agree with that. It's like I don't understand how this guy got away with it. It just seems like one guy doing this, like just like the other one. But like, what the fuck? Jesus, that sucks, man.
Can't afford to pay them, then they should just do it, plain and simple. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes.
Booty
Give
butts.
me moldy McDonald's ice cream all day over workers' rights that have been violated. Because I'm
gonna be real with you. I'd rather have not moldy ice cream. I'd rather you violate worker rights than give me moldy ice cream. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but
will gobble that sweet treat up. And yeah, it was not a good look for Australian Pizza Huts.
Oh,
it was almost a year ago to the day when I released the infamous Hoaxes Iceberg Revisited. Shout out to you guys if you can remember that video. And I believe it was in that one where I spoke about the infamous Wendy's chili finger incident.
Wendy's nuts.
If I remember correctly, I think I did a Chills impression doing like the Burger King foot lettuce thing for Wendy's chili finger, but I digress. Long story short, this was a hoax pulled off by a woman of the name Ana Ayala, who in 2005 went to a Wendy's in San Jose, California, where she ordered a bowl of chili. She dug in when she claims to have seen something that put her off her food, which was a severed finger in her chili. As you would do in that situation, she kicked up a fuss. Maybe someone had been murdered and grounded down. Or maybe she had been watching too much South Park, who knows? Either way, the police had to investigate into this, and concluded that the finger's level of cook was not consistent with what it should have been if it was sitting in the chili for hours upon hours.
So what happened?
And soon it was found that Ayala had a recently deceased aunt who...
Did she put her own... Wait, she put her aunt's fucking finger in the chili to try to get a free meal? What? What the fuck? That's so disrespectful to your dead, like, loved one. Oh my god. That's horrible. Why would you do that? That's so fucking disrespectful, bro. That's insane.
Who might be related to the case in some way.
It's finger licking good.
Yeah, this one was not fair on Wendy's. They hadn't actually done anything wrong. Ayala was lying. And if you aren't convinced, it should be known that Ayala did indeed have a history in making fraudulent statements against big franchises. So I severely doubt this was a boy who cried wolf. She would be taken to court, where both her and her husband pled guilty to conspiring to file a false claim and attempted grand theft chili, with Anna being sentenced to 9 years and her husband, who supplied the finger, being put behind bars for 12 years and 4 months. They were also banned from all Wendy's worldwide forever.
Damn, that's the worst of all!
Ayala through the doors in the first place, an impossible one to know prior to this entire fiasco. Time for perhaps the grossest story I have today, especially for me, and you'll see why in just a moment. When I wrote the script for this video, I was sat in a coffee shop, sipping on a salted caramel milkshake thing and eating a Christmassy sandwich. And that made it really tough to recount the tale of how back in 2017, it was reported by major news outlets that traces of fecal matter were found in ice at coffee chains in the UK.
It probably was just the coffee in there, because coffee tastes like fucking shit. You guys sure it was actually poo? Are there like cockroaches in coffee or something? I don't know why I said that.
I live in the UK, and I was sat inside one of those restaurants who was name dropped in the report. It was tough. But nonetheless, an undercover BBC watchdog investigation went around the biggest coffee chains here: Starbucks, Costa Coffee, and Cafe Nero's. They collected 10 samples from each, and the results will shock you. They detected fecal matter in 3 of the 10 samples they collected from both Starbucks and Cafe Nero's. And as for Costa, it was even worse. It was present in 7 of the 10 samples collected.
Damn,
from the evidence provided, the theory was extracted, and that was that the fecal matter was likely present down to how the ice in these drinks was being handled. Now here's the thing. There are thousands upon thousands of coffee shops throughout the UK. Like, seriously, there are tons of them. I don't know what's happened to the high street, but it's all just coffee shops now. Of these, though, only 30 were tested in the investigation. You don't have to be a scientist to know that from such a small sample size, you cannot generalize an entire nation. And years on from the report leaking,
I mean, but what if what I mean, if they tested more, maybe they would just find even more doo-doo diarrhea. You don't really know that, you know? It's crazy.
Don't think that anyone ever felt ill due to it. At least nobody's illness can be traced down to it.
Well, you know, at least it's not that. Here's what I'm hearing from this video. It's okay to eat poo as long as it doesn't make you sick. It's okay to put poop in the coffee as long as you don't get sick, guys. Base take.
Some level of bacteria, it's just natural. But when it comes to fecal matter present enough to be detected in as many coffees as it was, that's not good. So next time I go to a coffee shop, I'll probably be thinking twice on whether I should get my drink with ice. All right, lads and lasses, that's it. We're out of time. Thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're closing in on 70,000 subscribers, so it would mean the...
That's a good video. If you're a real man, you eat poop.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.